My name is Michelle D. Burnett, and I am the host of the Red Hot News, hot business news that you can use. We are so excited to have you here today, and one of our guests today will be Stephanie L. Reynolds. So, Stephanie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, Michelle, thank you so much for having me
Pick up right
on
where
with
we
you
like it's
today.
now it's recording
I'm
based on
honored
what
to
we're
be a
saying.
part of this.
Okay, so let's
A little
just.
bit about
Well, my
myself.
name is Michelle
I
D. Burnett,
am
and
a
I'd like
wife,
to
a
thank
mom,
our viewing audience for
first and
joining us.
foremost, but
And I am
I'm
Michelle D. Burnett
also
with the
an
Red
entrepreneur.
Hot
The name of
News.
my
Hot
company is
business news
Dreamcatcher
that you can
Solutions.
use.
And I've been doing it now for several years. And what I do and what my passion is helping people, specifically entrepreneurs, being able to really maximize what they have, so that they can reach their highest level of potential when it comes to their business, and then on a personal level, just when it comes to them living their best life. So my heart is to equip them with the tools and the systems and the mindsets to help them to elevate, really in every area of their life.
Oh, that is an awesome thing. Is there anything in particular you would like to share with our audience that you specialize in?
Um, well, Dreamcatcher Solutions does several things. One, we work with authors. We help them from really the beginning of the process all the way into the publishing phase. So we really help authors to get their ideas out on paper and to really facilitate them being able to get their books out. Additionally, I have a section of the business called Admin on Demand. And through that, we offer virtual assistance, which is actually great right now, given what we're going through. But we're able to assist in setting up and maintaining administrative infrastructures for small businesses. Oftentimes, they don't have the money to hire on full-time staff, and so we're able to bridge that gap for them until they're able to do what they need to do on a more full-time basis. And then we also have a personal development part where we really work with the individual to help them recognize why they're here, what they're created to do, and then giving them the tools to do that.
That's awesome. You've shared a lot of information. So today you'll be on our podcast with the Red Hot News, and you're going to be sharing information with how business owners or entrepreneurs can survive the COVID-19 crisis. Would you like to share about that, please?
Sure. I think this is a time where it's a very unfamiliar and uncomfortable time for a lot of us, as people first, let alone as entrepreneurs, especially as small business owners and those of us who have more of a contractor type role, and who really depend on being able to interact with people to keep their businesses going. And so I think the first thing that we have to keep in mind is that this is not forever, right? And so even though it can feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel going through it, we have to keep in our minds that this is not going to be forever. This too shall pass. And so we have to continue to keep ourselves in that mindset so that we don't let this just completely stop us, right? Because when this is over, our businesses have to continue to function and we have to be able to pick up wherever we left off and keep moving. So I think the first thing is just keeping everything in perspective, and not allowing our emotions to kind of get the best of us during this time. The other thing that I would suggest for entrepreneurs during this time is really to take this time to evaluate your business. I think it's a good time, especially when you are really on that grind. Sometimes it's hard to take an introspective look at your business because we're just trying to keep the money coming in. We're just on 100. We're on that hustle mode because we have to keep making money, and so you don't always get a chance to look at your business and really determine what's working, what's not working, places that we can improve, places that maybe we need to shift. And so I think that this is a great opportunity for entrepreneurs to really begin to reevaluate their businesses, restructure it if necessary, come up with some great promotions, and figure out how we can use this to our benefit. I think the mark of a great entrepreneur is being able to make the best of situations, being able to see how we can shift and we can move in the midst of different things that are happening and still find a way to be relevant, still find a way um, to make money, to find a way how we can tweak things to adapt to what's going on, because you're an entrepreneur no matter what. I mean, people who have that entrepreneurial spirit, you might not be able to do what you were doing before, but you can still use that same drive, that same spirit to shift and figure out what you can do now to make that work for what's going on. For instance, I know for me, I've been looking at, you can look at kind of what the times are calling for and figure out how you can be a need to that. So now everybody is working from home. Get some webinars going, right? Become an expert in your field. So even though you might not be able to be, if say for instance, you're a party planner. Well, no, you can't have any parties, but you can still be an expert in your field. So start having some webinars, charge a couple of dollars for people to come on and learn how to throw a party on a budget, or how can you still, have a birthday party for your daughter while you're self-quarantining. Like, be creative. I think this is a time where creativity really needs to come alive. And then the third thing I would say is to plan out your future, plan out your comeback. What's it going to look like when all this is over? What's going to be your strategy now to get back into the swing of things? I think it's just important that we don't let this time put us to sleep, that we don't let the worry take over, but that we're making sure that when this is all said and done, our businesses will be able to come back and be stronger than ever.
Wow. So would you like to just name those three tips? That was such uh, a plethora of information. So give those three tips again with one, two, three on what the audience can personally do during this season of transition. One, two, three.
Absolutely. Number one, keep perspective. Don't let the fear and the emotions get the best of you. Know that this too shall pass. Number two, find ways to be creative. Make yourself relevant. Be willing to shift. Be willing to do what you need to do in order to still be able to capitalize on this time. And then number three is, I would say, is just now I have to go back and think about what I was saying. I know I said so much. Number one, making sure that we keep perspective. Number two, being creative. And number three, just taking this time to reevaluate, making sure that you're plotting your comeback and that you are taking a good look at your business to see what's working, what's not working, so that when all of this is over, your business is stronger than ever.
Oh, that is excellent. So I feel like calling you Dr. Reynolds now. Tell our viewing audience, what you are personally doing during this season.
Well, one thing that I'm doing, if I'm being completely honest, is I'm resting. I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we're constantly on the grind and we don't always take care of ourselves like we need to. And so I've taken advantage of this downtime to really just spend with my kids, spend with my family, and relax so that I can de-stress. The other thing that I'm doing is, the same tips that I gave to everyone else. I'm finding out how to reinvent myself, how to reinvent my business. I'm taking introspective looks to see places that I need to adjust, places that I need to shift, places that maybe weren't working as well. And then I'm being creative. I'm using that entrepreneurial mindset and spirit to just find creative ways to remain relevant and to keep my business moving and to answer a need, right? The need might change. It's changed over these past few weeks since all of this has happened, but learn how to be the answer to a need, whatever that looks like for you. And so that's what I'm trying to do.
Ooh, that's really good. I had another question for you. Do you have any upcoming virtual sessions that you would like to share with our audience?
I do. I'm actually starting a virtual authors boot camp on April 23rd, and it's going to be virtual courses on how to really get your book going. And so it's not just about education, but it's going to be some hands-on um, tools that I'm giving you so that you can actually, through the end of this boot camp, have a finished manuscript. So I'm really excited about that. It's all virtual. We're going to do writing intensives. We're going to have time to do some content review. And we're going to just utilize these technological advances and do it all online. And so I'm really excited and looking forward to that.
So when you're doing this author boot camp, when you
Mhm.
say I'll have a manuscript at the end, what exactly for our viewing audience that may not know what a manuscript is? What is a manuscript?
So the manuscript is going to be what you ultimately, it's basically going to be the draft of your completed book. And so it'll be what you submit for editing. It'll be what you ultimately submit to a publishing company. But the manuscript is basically the first draft of your completed work. And a lot of people have ideas, they have outlines, they've started it, but we want to get you to that finish line.
Okay, that's good. I had one more question I wanted to add in here.
Sure.
Are you a life coach?
Yes, well, I like to call it a personal development coach because or an image coach. And so what I do is really just help individuals work from the inside out, right? To make sure that they understand why they're here, who they are, why they're here, and then helping them build whether it's their business or whatever it is that they're wanting to build, to help them build it accurately.
Okay, well, what I'd like for you to do is to make sure that you add in the comments your link for the author boot camp, and then make sure that you include your website so that people will be able to learn more about you. And would you like to give those, at least your website out for the people?
Absolutely. My website is really simple, stephaniereynolds.life. And you can go on there. You can sign up for the author boot camp. And you can also see some of the other services that we provide.
Are there any final thoughts that you would like to share with our audience?
No, I just want to encourage entrepreneurs to know that this too shall pass. This is not the end, to stay encouraged and to know that at the end of this, if we do the work and we don't allow fear and emotions to get the best of us, we'll recover and we'll recover strong.
Thank you. I'd like to end with this quote that Stephanie L. Reynolds wrote. It says, entrepreneurs must become masters in the art of diversification. You must be able to effectively adapt in order to keep yourself relevant and your business a necessity throughout cultural shifts, technological advances, and crises. And I am Michelle D. Burnett with the Red Hot News, hot business news that you can use.